Hey guys, it's Irene's Braids and I am back with another video. So here's the hair we'll be using today. We have some leftover track hair that we have custom colored. So she went to her stylist and had her custom color some bundles that she no longer needs. And then what I am going to do is cut them off the track and I'll show you how we do that. So before we get started, I wanted to show you the braiding hair that I used again. This is Little Looks Expressions braiding hair. I really love using this hair when it comes to the boho look, and that is for my short boho bobs and then also any Bora Bora styles, just period point blank. I love using that hair because the hair isn't so long, so therefore we don't have to worry about trying to taper off too much of that length. So with this leftover bundle hair that she had, it has been custom colored. So because it's been custom colored, it looks more dry, but we're going to wet it and we're going to use a diffuser to make it look good and make the curls pop. So I went ahead and cut all the hair off the track. And when you're cutting it off the track, you want to use a little bit of braid gel to kind of pre-stretch out the hair so that way it's easier to add when you are putting it in your client's head. So my client wanted medium knotless, so we're going for a medium knotless boho look. And the colors of her bundles are a 4 and 30. So please estimate a good window of 6 hours to do this type of style. And being that we did them waist length, you're going to make sure that you have a good window for that. So her hair is a little bit on the finer side, so I don't like to separate her hair too small. I want the braid to have enough to support the braiding hair and the weight of the track hair, so we use enough of her real hair to support that. So let's get into how we start our knotless braid. So I went ahead and parted her hair into 4 sections in the back. So with those 4 sections in the back, I am going to separate her natural hair into 3 pieces, as you see here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull my index finger through the middle, grab onto a small piece of that extension braiding hair, and I'm going to braid that in about 3 times. And once I get it in between 3 to 4 times, I'm going to stop, rest my index finger in the middle where it's placed, and put another piece in between my index and thumb finger and continue to braid it in about 3 to 4 times. Then I stop and add a third piece. And I continue to do this method until I get to the desired size that I'm looking for. Now keep in mind that I will complete this entire first row and I will not add any curls throughout the braid. I will only add curls at the end of each braid for my first row. And the reason why I only add the curl to the bottom of the braid, to the ending of the braid, is because once she decides to lift these braids up and put them in a ponytail or just style them, eventually the curls throughout the bottom row will start to mat. So it really doesn't make any sense to add curls to that bottom row. You're pretty much just wasting hair. So that is just a braid tip that I think that will be helpful for you as you decide if you're going to do this style as well. So yes, so what I'm going to do here is complete out this first row and I'm going to show you guys how that looks. And also I want to say that when you're doing this type of style, you must be able to have patience because it is pretty tedious. And then also at the ending of this video, I do give my recommendations on how to care for this style. And you want to make sure that if you're offering this style to someone else, that you show them how to care for it as well. So I will show you a few things that we did use in order to keep the curls looking good and then just pretty much offset the braids. So here is where I start to add in that human hair. The track hair that we have. And when you're adding it in, you want to add it in with a very small piece so that way it blends nicely, as you can see here. You shouldn't be able to know where the piece of hair that you added where it's starting at or where it ends at. So with that being said, add it in very small so that way when you end it ends off nicely and it blends in really good. And then once I end it off like that, I take some scissors and I just snip away those flyaways that I start to see. So pretty much this is how the color is coming out. So far we're only adding in the color 4 and now we're going to go ahead and start adding in that 30. She wanted to have like more of a 30 blend directly in the middle of her head. She saw an ideal picture online that she felt in love with. So that is the goal, is to add that color 30 just towards the center of her head. So that way it falls nicely towards the back. But I did tell her that I'm going to start. I told her during the process of making this video that I wanted to add some more 30 in just sporadic areas. So that way she can have highlights on either side. Now let's just get into this braid gel that I'm using. So you guys saw that I showed it to you again, and I just kind of showed you the inside of the jar so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. I really, 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 really like this braid gel. When I first used it, I didn't really care for this braid gel. I was like, yeah, I don't think I like this. And I just wanted to stick with Shining Jam. But I like it now because now I know what to do with that type of braid gel. So with that braid gel, when you're adding it in for a braid, let's say if you put the gel on there and then let's say you have to take a break for a moment because you have to, I don't know, go do something and come back. It gets very pasty looking. So you want to be careful with how much you add because it can turn white in a way. So with that gel, if you're going to use it, you want to add your braid immediately. So like if you're not ready to add your braid, do not add that gel to your hair. And then let's say if it does turn a little chalky or white, all you have to do is go behind it with an oil sheen and then Nairobi foam once you're done with your braids, and it'll go away. All right, y'all, so let's get into how we start this braid and add in the boho hair. So again, I separated her natural hair into 3 sections, braided in the piece of braiding hair 3 times, and then I stopped, added in another piece of braiding hair, and braid that in 3 times. So what I'm going to do here is add in my first boho curl. I'm going to braid that in 3 times. And then once you braid that in 3 times, you'll stop where your fingers have got to a good point. You're going to rest them, add in another piece of boho hair. Sometimes I have to stop and add another piece of braiding hair because I start to feel the hair getting finer. So when you feel your hair getting finer, you need to add another piece of braiding hair so that way the braid can stay consistent. So I added in, of course, 5 pieces of braiding of human hair. Of her track hair to each braid. So about 5 pieces. So I wanted to see how much hair we had in her head by wetting the hair. That's how you kind of can see how much hair you have. So you definitely want to wet the hair so that way you can know if you need to add more, because I don't like to see a lot of spaces. I can't stand it. And one of the ways that I control not seeing a lot of spaces is by parting my boxes in a brick layered look, as you can see here. So that way the braid above can fall directly in between the braids under. So with that being said, I'm going to add my curl a little higher up. As you can see, I'm adding the curl now. Add your curls a little higher up so that way that curl sits high enough to rest in between those parts as well. And then I'm going to add another curl right behind it. So as I braid that first curl in 3 times, I'm adding me another curl right behind it because I want it to fall nicely to where there's not a lot of gaps and spaces. I think when I watch a lot of other people's TikToks and watch their videos and I see their boho braids, I love them, but sometimes I don't like the way the back of it looks. And I feel like some other stylists make the back of their bohos very spacious looking and gappy, and I'm just not a fan of that. So I feel like if you have had that issue and you struggle with that, you need to use my method because this is the way to go. We shouldn't have to see all those spaces in the back. That's a no-no, guys. Big no-no. So as you can see here, that braid alone is getting nice and full just off of those 3 pieces that I've added. Nice and full. So I want to say I add about a good 5 pieces, and then I will end it off with the 6th piece at the tip so that way the braid ends off with a curl. All right, you guys. So in this little spray bottle here, it was one of her little concoctions that she made from her last set of boho that we did. And so she put in a conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, an oil, and then water. And then, of course, I had a braid sheen that I used in Nairobi foam. So we did all three on her curls to help like lift them and give it like a good pop. And so now we're going to use our diffuser. This cotton air diffuser I got off of Amazon, and I just attach it to my Yellowbird blow dryer, which you can get that off of Amazon as well. And what it does is it helps bring the life back to the curls. As you can see, her curls are starting to pop back out, which I love. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how that looks. As you can see, the front is more weighed down, but we're going to spray it again with her little concoction that she made. And I'm just going to pluff those curls right back out because it just looks so good. And I'm so glad we did this color. This color is just beautiful. And if you guys like this color as well, make sure you drop some comments in the comment section. If you have some more questions about this style, just the process alone, let me know as well. And then for the upkeep of these, you want to make sure that you're tying it down with a scarf at night, and then also tie it when you take a shower. Put your shower cap on. Definitely make sure you wet this hair every 2 days. If you need to go in daily, it's no problem. Do it daily. Use a detangle brush or use your fingers and just brush out those flyaways. And then if you need to go back in with your diffuser, you can just to pop the curls out. But this is the style for the summer, you guys. This is the style for the summer. So if you like this video, please let me know. It's not going to take much for you guys to thumbs up this video. If you were able to learn some good tips from this video, thumbs it up. Drop a comment in the comment section. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure that you subscribe and hit that like button so that way you can see more content from me. So until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.